If you thought we uncovered all of Peppa Pig's secrets, last time you were so wrong. 1. Aunt Dottie's identity crisis is getting out of hand. Before Aunt Dottie ever sets foot in an episode, she sends Peppa and George a wheeled horse and a letter from some faraway place. Not England, not France, and definitely not America. Because when the family visits those places, she's nowhere to be seen. When she does appear, she has no British accent and insists on celebrating Thanksgiving, a holiday no one else in town even mentions. Her sudden arrival, odd behavior, and mysterious past raise a serious question. Where has she been all this time? Some clues hint she might be living in Russia. Others suggest she could be in hiding. With that shady backstory, she might just be a retired secret agent. 2. Why do parents pay to fix the school roof? Every time the school roof breaks, Madame Gazelle organizes a fundraising event. Parents bake cakes, run marathons, or dress in silly costumes to raise money. But here's the strange part. These are the same people who already fund the school. They live in the same town, pay the same taxes, and send their kids to the same class. So why is there always another fundraiser? Either the school is built from soggy paper, or someone's taking advantage of very enthusiastic parents. Madame Gazelle never explains where the money goes, and the repairs never seem to last. At this point, it's less of a fundraiser and more of a yearly ritual to keep the roof barely hanging on. 3. Peppa's world ignores the laws of physics. In Peppa's world, gravity seems to come and go whenever it feels like it. Characters constantly fall over from laughing, even if they're standing still. Their legs fly up, their arms flop, and they stay on the ground as if the floor suddenly turned into glue. But when it comes to things that should actually move, like furniture and tilted houses, nothing happens. In Madame Gazelle's house, the floor is slanted. The children slide into the middle, but every chair stays perfectly still. It's as if objects follow one set of rules and people follow another. This universe clearly doesn't care about logic, only slapstick chaos. 4th, Mr. Fox might be the town's sneakiest thief. Mr. Fox is always smiling and helpful, but if you pay close attention, something doesn't feel right. In one episode, Grandpa Pig's metal detector goes missing, then magically shows up for sale at Mr. Fox's van. That's already suspicious, but it gets worse. When George's dinosaur toy breaks, Mr. Fox sells the family a new one that needs over 20 batteries and still doesn't work. It's clearly used, probably returned, maybe even stolen. Then, there are the wanted posters outside the police station, both showing a fox. Coincidence? Maybe. But when your local shopkeeper has everything, chances are it's not all coming from legal places. 5. Clare Cow's existence doesn't add up. Clare Cow appears in several episodes, usually spotted around town with either Mr. Bull or Mrs. Cow. They seem close, almost like a family, yet something about Clare's role never makes sense. When Peppa's class goes to the theater, Clare is seen inside, but she didn't ride the school bus with the others. That means she goes to a completely different school, even though she lives nearby. Then comes the strangest part. During Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow's wedding, Clare is completely absent. Not in the crowd, not mentioned, not even given a reason to miss it. For a supposed daughter, she's treated more like a secret. Or worse, someone deliberately left out. 6th, Mrs. Crocodile breaks every rule in the animal world. Every main character in Peppa Pig is a mammal. Rabbits, pigs, elephants, even wolves. That pattern never changes until Mrs. Crocodile appears. She works at the zoo, cares for penguins, and somehow lives peacefully among the others. But nothing about her really fits in. She's cold-blooded, always underwater, and, most importantly, a reptile in a mammal-run world. Even Madame Gazelle, who usually keeps calm, looks nervous around her. That's not a small detail. Madame Gazelle knows what a crocodile is capable of. No one ever explains where Mrs. Crocodile came from or how she got the job. It's almost like the town quietly agreed to let one dangerous creature stay, just to avoid a bigger problem. 7. Super Potato might not be from this world. Most vegetables in Peppa Pig just talk and wear silly costumes. But Super Potato is on another level. He flies through the sky, lifts heavy objects, and saves others with super strength. Meanwhile, the other vegetables rely on ropes and wires to pretend they're doing stunts. Super Potato never needs help. No strings, no tricks, just pure, unexplained power. Nothing in the show explains how a potato gained actual superpowers. He isn't just stronger than everyone else. He defies basic rules of biology. There's no origin story, no backstory, not even a lab coat in sight. At this point, it's fair to assume he's either an alien, a science experiment, or a vegetable that escaped a classified lab. 8. Suzie Sheep might be a clone with a hidden origin. Suzie Sheep lives with her mother and grandmother, and no one ever mentions her father. That alone raises questions, but things get even stranger when you notice the details. In one episode, Suzie wears pajamas with an anchor design, something we usually associate with Grandpa Rabbit. That seems random, until you remember Grandpa Rabbit is known for building odd machines and working in science-related roles. Also, Mrs. Rabbit once tries to sell a wool sweater made from real sheep wool, and no one reacts. Suzie looks exactly like her cousin Charlotte, and both families are filled with only female sheep. At this point, it's hard not to wonder if Suzie is part of Grandpa Rabbit's forgotten cloning experiment. 9. The zoo might secretly be a prison for wild animals. At first glance, the zoo in Peppa Pig looks like a normal place to visit. The kids enjoy the trip, the animals seem happy, and everything appears friendly. But there are some strange details that make the whole place feel suspicious. The staff wear blue uniforms that look almost exactly like the ones worn by the police. The animals in the cages don't talk, don't move around freely, and never leave. In a world where most animals live in houses, go to school, and shop at markets, the zoo creatures are stuck behind bars. This might not be a zoo at all. It could be where dangerous predators are quietly locked away from society. 10. The extra pig in the photo changes everything. In an official Peppa Pig family photo, something strange appears that no one can explain. The picture shows the usual 4 members standing outside: Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig, Peppa, and George. But if you look closely at the bottom window of the house, there's another pig child staring out. She looks about the same age as Peppa, but no one ever mentions her. The show has never explained who she is or why she's in the family's home. If this extra pig is real, then where did she go? Some believe Peppa is a replacement, and that this mystery pig was quietly removed. Whatever happened, someone in that photo doesn't belong anymore. 11. Madame Gazelle might be hiding a centuries-old secret. Madame Gazelle has been around for far too long without changing. She was the teacher of Peppa's parents when they were children, yet she looks exactly the same today. In one episode, she walks past a mirror and has no reflection. That alone is enough to raise alarms, but there's more. She lives in a crooked house beside a giant pine tree filled with bats, which she casually refers to as her old friends. Her sisters, Greta and Gretel, also live far away in a snowy place and haven't aged a day either. All 3 once played in a rock band. That band may be retired, but the vampire rumors are definitely alive. 12th. Edmund Elephant's size doesn't match his brain. Edmund Elephant is introduced as one of the younger kids, just like George and Richard. But from the moment he speaks, something feels off. He uses big words, explains science facts, and answers complex questions without hesitation. Meanwhile, the others are still learning to count. His intelligence is way beyond his age group, yet his size is the same as George, who can barely hold a full conversation. Even Edmund's older sister Emily doesn't speak the way he does. The most likely explanation is that Edmund might actually be older, but physically much smaller than the rest. It could mean he has dwarfism, and the show never directly talks about it. But the clues are there. 13. Daddy Wolf might be hiding a dangerous appetite. Most adults in Peppa Pig seem friendly, but Daddy Wolf behaves very differently when food is involved. In more than one episode, he's shown talking about how hungry he is at the worst possible moments. One time, he shares a boat with Daddy Pig on the way to a picnic and spends the entire ride talking about food while giving him strange looks. The way he stares doesn't seem casual. It feels instinctive. Wolves, in the real world, are natural predators of pigs, and the show doesn't ignore that. It hints at it in a way that feels a little too real. The others may not notice, but Daddy Pig should probably row faster next time. 14. Miss Rabbit's life makes no logical sense. Miss Rabbit works more jobs than any other character in Peppa Pig. She flies helicopters, drives buses, runs shops, operates the recycling center, and even works at the ice cream stand. No matter where the family goes, whether it's the mountains, the airport, or even another country, Miss Rabbit is already there, working like she never left the last place. There's never a break, never a second of rest, and no one questions it. Either she has several identical sisters working under the same name, or she's part of something far bigger. At this point, it wouldn't be surprising if she turned out to be a government project designed to keep Peppa's world running. 15. Daddy Pig's parents seem to have been erased from existence. In a show that focuses so much on family, it's strange how completely absent Daddy Pig's parents are. Peppa and George regularly visit Granny and Grandpa Pig, who are clearly Mummy Pig's parents. But Daddy Pig never mentions his own mother or father. They don't show up in photos, they never visit. And there isn't a single hint that they even exist. Even Uncle Pig, Daddy Pig's brother, appears with his family. Yet their parents are still missing from every episode. It's as if they've been erased from history. Either something happened that no one wants to talk about, or the creators are hiding a much darker story behind Daddy Pig's cheerful smile. 16. George's name breaks a pattern the show never explains. In Peppa Pig, almost every character follows a simple rule. Their first and last names start with the same letter. Peppa Pig, Danny Dog, Suzie Sheep, Pedro Pony, and even Edmund Elephant all fit this pattern. It's used so consistently that it feels like a rule of the universe. But then there's George. His name completely breaks the system. Instead of being named something like Peter Pig or Patrick Pig, he's called George. No explanation is ever given. It could mean nothing, or it could mean he wasn't originally part of the family. If his name doesn't match the world's logic, maybe it's because he didn't come from it in the first place. 17th. Super Potato and Mr. Potato might be the same vegetable in disguise. Mr. Potato and Super Potato look exactly alike. They have the same round shape, the same face, and the same thick mustache. The only real difference is the outfit. One wears a cape, the other wears a hat. For a long time, it seemed like Super Potato might just be Mr. Potato in costume. But then, both appeared on screen together. That moment was supposed to clear up the confusion, but it only made things stranger. If they're not the same person, then they might be identical twins. But no one ever talks about them being related. The show never gives an answer, as if it doesn't want viewers asking too many questions about sentient vegetables. 18. Peppa's family might be the last pigs on Earth. Throughout the series, almost every animal group has extended families. The rabbits have multiple siblings and cousins. The elephants, dogs, and even ponies show up in larger family units. But when it comes to pigs, there's only Peppa's small group. We see Mummy Pig's parents, Uncle Pig, and Auntie Pig, but never any random background pigs. None appear at festivals, airports, or even in the big cities Peppa visits. It feels like pigs are an endangered species in this world. Either they've moved somewhere else, or something happened long ago that wiped most of them out. If Peppa's family is the last of their kind, then this cartoon just took a very dark turn. 19. Mommy Pig and Daddy Pig might be more than just a couple. It's no secret that Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig were in the same class as children. Madame Gazelle even taught them both, which confirms they grew up together. In most schools, classmates are usually the same age, meaning they spent years side by side. That already feels a little strange, but things get weirder when you notice the black and white photo in Daddy Pig's office. It shows a young pig and a piglet together, dressed in old-fashioned clothes. A similar photo also appears in Grandpa Pig's house. The two look like siblings, not future spouses. No one explains who they are, but come on, this is starting to feel like Peppa Pig meets Game of Thrones. 20. Gerald Giraffes' height breaks every rule in Peppa's world. Peppa's world follows a strange rule where almost every child, no matter what animal they are, is the same size. Elephants, ponies, zebras, and pigs all stand at the same height, even though in real life they vary a lot. But then Gerald Giraffe shows up and ruins the pattern. He's towering over everyone, including adults, and no one seems to question it. If giraffes grow like that, why doesn't Edmund Elephant ever get taller? Why is Pedro Pony still the same size as Peppa? The show acts like Gerald's height is normal, but clearly something isn't right. Either the giraffes evolved differently, or Gerald was hit by a growth ray. Whatever it is, he's breaking the entire height system. 21. The predators might be pretending to be vegetarian. In Peppa's world, everyone lives together like one big happy animal community. You've got rabbits, pigs, zebras, even lions and wolves, all smiling, waving and shopping at the same stores. But this peaceful setup completely ignores one major fact. Some of these animals are natural predators. Mr. Lion works at the zoo, Mr. Wolf goes on picnics with Daddy Pig. Yet no one ever talks about what they actually eat. Are we supposed to believe these meat eaters survive on salad and carrot cake? There's no meat in sight, unless you count Mr. Potato, who's alive and talks. Maybe the predators have found a way to control their instincts. Or maybe they haven't, And this cheerful town has a much darker food chain than anyone wants to admit. Those were some of the most bizarre things hiding in plain sight in Peppa's world. Whether it's clones, vampires, or possible crimes, one thing is clear. This show is not as innocent as it looks. Do you think Peppa's town is being watched or controlled? Let us know below and hit that bell so you never miss an update.